The RVH is underrated if you know how to use it. One of the most polarizing topics on the goalie internet is the RVH, or reverse vertical horizontal. Young goalies are obsessed with it, and a lot of older goalies hate it. But I think that if it's used appropriately, it's a very effective skill that every goalie should know how to use. In this video, I'll go through a few key things: what the RVH is, how to make your RVH perfect, and when to use it and when not to use it. Let's start with number one. What is the RVH? RVH stands for reverse vertical horizontal. The name comes from the VH, or vertical horizontal. This was a move popularized in the 2000s, and the name refers to the positioning of the pads. It's a way to hug the post in a butterfly position, with the pad against the post in a vertical position and the other pad in a horizontal position. You would often see it used when a player comes down the side of the ice with the option to pass into the slot or shoot on net at a bad angle. While the VH can be effective, it has its limitations. On the blocker side, it is hard to cover the top portion of the net. It's a more awkward position for your blocker because you're also holding the stick, so getting proper net coverage and reacting to a shot can be difficult. On top of that, in the VH, rebound control can be tricky, with pucks bouncing into the slot. It can be hard to perfectly seal the post, it leaves the far side open, and it can be uncomfortable to do properly. Stability can be challenging, for example. That's why you don't see it as often as you used to. Occasionally, you'll see goalies using it, but in the modern NHL game, it's been almost completely replaced by the reverse VH, or RVH. Why they call it reverse vertical horizontal instead of just horizontal vertical, I have no idea. According to In Goal magazine, Swedish goalie coach Linda Blomqvist and her goalies invented the RVH sometime in the 2010s. I know that Jonathan Quick was using it with the Kings 10 plus years ago. Now that you know what the RVH is, let's look at how to get into the proper and the perfect RVH. While it is probably easier to just look at pictures and videos of goalies doing the RVH, I will try to explain it in more detail. The pad closest to the post is down and sealed on the ice with the foot up against the post. You can either have the skate against the post or the toe of the pad lined up on the post with the skate blade behind the post. This is called toe lock, and it is the better option in my opinion. It provides better coverage, a stronger base to push off of, and it protects your skate blades. The other pad will have the knee off the ice with the pad at a 45-degree angle, or roughly around there, to the ground. The skate blade is also positioned at an angle with enough bite into the ice to push your body into the post. It also gives you leverage to protect and hold yourself against the post on a jam-in play or when someone is trying to push your pad and the puck into the net. The upper body will lean into the post with the intention to cover as much net as possible. Remember the toe lock, post between the pad and the toe of your skate. Think about where your toe ties are. They should hit the post. Sometimes you can do skate to post or even shin to post, but in my opinion, those are inferior options that you only resort to when you can't nail the toe lock. Lean tall, take up as much net as you can while still being able to move if you need to react to a shot. The skate blade on the pad that's not on the post needs to be digging into the ice. Like I said, it provides pressure for jam plays on the post, and it helps you seal the ice and the post with strength. On the glove side RVH, the glove should be sealed against the post, open and facing the puck, ready to react to a save. Same thing for the blocker on the blocker side. And on the blocker side, don't be lazy with your catching glove. It shouldn't be dropped down, it should be up and ready for a shot or a redirection from the slot. Don't forget to lean your head too. It should also be covering the net because we want to provide as much coverage as possible. The best way to perfect the RVH technique is to have these points memorized or at least written down somewhere. In practice, try to get them all correct, even if you only work on one thing at a time. Build that muscle memory with many repetitions and your RVH will look like a pro goalie. One thing to mention is that the RVH requires very good internal rotation of the hips. I've made videos about this before. I have a video on YouTube called How to Get a Wider Butterfly, and I've also made exercises and put posts up on Instagram and TikTok for goalies to see how they can train off the ice to get better internal rotation at the hips and therefore a better RVH and a wider butterfly. I also highly recommend the Goalie Leg program available on the Goalie Strength website linked in the video description below. The exercises in this program should improve your internal rotation in a pain-free way, and I highly recommend it for goalies that want a better RVH, a wider butterfly, and more athleticism in the crease. You'll be stronger and more mobile, and it takes less than half an hour per day. For the adult goalies that didn't grow up with the RVH, it's going to take some time and practice. Some of you will struggle with it due to not enough mobility and training or previous injuries. That's okay. You may not have the RVH ability of an NHL goalie, but if you can find a way to uniquely apply it to your game, I think it's worth it. Start slow, practice it a little bit every time you're on the ice, and slowly but surely you will get better at it. Now, one of the most important parts of the RVH, when to use it. This is where I see a lot of goalies struggle, even at high levels. Younger goalies are usually pretty good at the mechanics of the RVH. They've grown up watching it on TV, they've been working on it in practice, and they've even learned it from a goalie coach. But the RVH seems to be a comfort thing for a lot of goalies, meaning that they rely on it too much. That's why you see them drop into the RVH when a player is coming down the half wall, where there's absolutely no need to use the RVH. The RVH is perfect for attacks on the net from bad angles. That means on the goal line or below. So if a player is trying to jam the puck in by the post or walk out from behind the net, the RVH is perfect for those scenarios. You can seal off the post, get a good view of the puck, and push across for a low pass or redirection. Standing up on these plays is a lot harder. Your view of the puck is not going to be as good, and you're going to sacrifice coverage on either the posts or the 5-hole area. The use of the RVH eliminates that problem, and it's ideal for jam plays and walkouts from the goal line or below. It's also good for passes from behind the goal line to a player right in your crease. You seal that ice from a bang-in play because the player doesn't have the time or the space to get the puck up high in that situation. Standing on your feet, while it seems easier, it just leaves gaps low to the ice. The key is to be patient. You shouldn't just drop down on the ice every time the puck is near you. It's almost always better to stay on your feet when you can so that you can move across the ice quicker. In fact, as I wrote the script for this video, I was watching an NHL game and both goalies were holding their feet in situations where typically you'd see them drop into the RVH. So maybe that's changing. Another time I find the RVH useful is in a wraparound situation. Imagine a player taking the puck post to post behind the net and then trying to jam the puck in by the post. The RVH lets you seal the ice and post quickly, which is what we need in that situation. So where should we not be using the RVH? Pretty much every other time. Rushes off the wall, when the puck is in the corner, and when the play is far from the net. You see a lot of bad goals in the RVH, not because it's a bad move, but because it's used when a skilled player has time to find an open spot in the top of the net, in the gap left by your head and shoulder against the post or the crossbar. That's not really a concern on a jam in play, a wraparound, or a short pass from behind the net into your crease. But when a player is coming down the side of the ice, it's not that hard for them to find an open spot and put the puck there, especially at high levels. So despite all the controversy around it, the RVH is very useful and I think it's here to stay. That's why I say it's underrated. If you apply it wrong, that's on you and not the move. My last tip is to put an NHL game on television or watch it on your phone and watch it to see how often the goalies use the RVH. By paying conscious attention to this, you'll learn a lot about how to use it yourself. Just for making this video, I've been paying a lot more attention to the usage of RVH at the NHL level, and it's been interesting. If you can't get on the ice, the next best thing to do is watch hockey. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. Check out our goalie training programs and our different breed clothing line at our website in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.